Hello, Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self and ultimately create the life that you desire? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, so we'll jump into that in just a second. I do have the tarot deck that I'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended, and also this week, I have added an overall theme of the reading. I just got this new deck, and so I wanted to incorporate it in some way, but I wasn't ready to use it as the overall energy, so we're going to pull it as the theme. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing is to please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Virgo, in your recent past, you have emotions are running high with the Seven of Swords. In your recent past, I feel like there was a lot of unknowns. I feel like there were a lot of things that were very uncertain, and I feel like that's ultimately what brought up this emotions are running high kind of energy, like this emotional intensity, maybe dealing with fear, doubt, insecurity. And I feel like it's all because of the Seven of Swords, things were very unknown. Like there was a lot that you couldn't see maybe in terms of how you were going to move forward or how you were going to get there, if you were going to even be okay. And I feel like that kind of led to, like I said, that energy. Now in your current energy, I feel like things are a little bit lighter. You do have a win-win outcome as forecast with the Fool. So I feel like you're coming into some sort of new beginning, almost like a new cycle, which we'll see in your immediate future. You do have a new romantic cycle begins. It doesn't just have to be romantic, though. It could be a new cycle in other areas of your life, too. And so I feel like you're headed toward some sort of new cycle here. And I do feel like it's a very good one, because with the new romantic cycle begins, you have the Six of Pentacles. So it kind of feels like you're coming up here on your time to receive, on your time to get what it is that you've been wanting or waiting for or putting in energy. But I feel like there's going to be some other stuff that'll come up with that. Now, as the overall theme of the reading, you have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So I feel like this is really about trusting that, first and foremost, if the universe puts a dream in your heart, it has every intention of making it happen. And second of all, sometimes things on our path can seem really uncertain in times where we're needing to learn to lean more on our faith. And so if things are uncertain, sometimes that can actually kind of be a blessing that they're working out, not necessarily a blessing, yes, but also an indication that things are working out for us. We just can't see that yet. So I do feel like this is a very positive reading for you, Virgos. So let's start by looking at your recent past, clarifying emotions are running high with the Seven of Swords. Recent past for Virgo, please. I'll do one more. This is for Virgos, a recent past, please. Recent past for Virgo, please. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so bear with me through this message, because I feel like this might hit some of you guys the wrong way. In your recent past, there was a little bit of not being fully honest with yourself about what path you really wanted to take. And ultimately, that was because of limiting beliefs. So maybe there was a specific path or an outcome that you really, really wanted. But what you didn't see was that you were actually selling yourself a little bit short by wanting this path. And that's why I feel like if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Like if you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Where would you go? What steps would you take? And I feel like, sometimes when there's a lot that's unknown, we'll typically cling to what is known. So that could be old cycles or people that kind of fit within our comfort zone but don't actually really make us happy. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. And I feel that in your recent past specifically, there was a little bit of not being totally honest with yourself about what path you really wanted to take. And maybe that's because you didn't really know. And so you thought you wanted something, but then there was actually something better for you. I don't know exactly though. So let's get more recent past for Virgo. Recent past for Virgo. Is that the Seven of Swords? Yeah. Seven of Swords. So the same Seven of Swords we have, right? But with the Three of Pentacles. I want more on this message. I get where it's going, but I want a little bit more because to me it's kind of like not seeing how or knowing how like the pieces were going to fall into place because they fell out of place. Things fell apart, and I feel like there was a lot of uncertainty of how they were ever going to fall back together. I don't think things are going to fall back together into the way that they once were. I think the whole point was for things to fall back together in a different way. So and that's the whole thing about embracing the unknown, is we don't know how things are going to work out because it is new territory. And we don't really know how everything is going to happen or how the pieces are going to fall into place or what it's going to look like or what it's going to feel like. And that's when we have to lean on faith the most. But that's also when our fear is going to run the most rampant, is because that's going to be when it has the most control, is when there isn't a whole lot of certainty, and so your fear is going to have more freedom, if you will. But sometimes we have to face our fear in order to overcome it. Recent past for Virgo. Recent past for Virgo. Chariot in reverse with the Queen of Wands. It just kind of feels like no matter what action you took here, like as the Queen of Wands, things just were not moving forward for you. But I feel like that's because there was a redirection that took place or needed to take place or needs to take place, depending on when this reading fits, your specific timeline. But I feel like there's a bigger reason why things weren't moving forward here. Let's shift gears. Let's look at your current energy. You have a win-win outcome as forecast with the Fool. Current energy for Virgo. Current energy for Virgo. One more. This is for Virgo's current energy. Virgo's current energy. The Five of Wands with the Ace of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. And the High Priestess on the back of the deck. Okay. The best way that I can look at this Five of Wands and this energy is like, if you look at this and you see there's like an argument, disagreement, a fight even, I want you to imagine if this card, if all of these people were you. And it's like, Like if you look at it as like your past self, what your soul really wants, what your ego wants, what you fear, what you hope for, like it's like there's these aspects of you that are almost like working against each other in a way. Now, we do typically have a tendency as humans to resist our own abundance because we like to stick to what's familiar and what is known and what's predictable, which whether that's unhealthy cycles or bad habits or things that don't serve us, sometimes we'll cling to those because it's easier to embrace what's known, or it's easier to invest in what's known than to embrace the unknown. And so you're in between this ending of one cycle and beginning of another right now. And there's no guarantee that this cycle is going to end and then a new one's going to come. And I feel like that's a big purpose of this reading, is to try to get you to see the difference between actions that would repeat the cycle and actions that would close and move you forward. Because everything right now in you, Virgo, I feel wants to pull you back to what's known, to old cycles, because you have been so deep in the unknown for so long. And so right now is a really important time in your journey where you're needing to be aware of that, to be aware of the fact that there's a part of you that wants to pull you back to what's known and what's predictable, even if it's not good for you. And when that's the case, your ego is really, really good at rationalizing whatever it is that it wants you to see or believe. And so right now is making sure that you bring into your awareness how you might be resisting better things by allowing fear or insecurity or doubt to win, and to make sure you don't make decisions based off of that fear, doubt, and insecurity. Current energy for Virgo, please. Current energy for Virgo, please. So a win-win outcome is forecast if you can get to this new beginning. Yeah, because you're stuck in not receiving. You've been stuck in this energy of lack, of giving a lot but receiving very little, or receiving back negative energy regardless of positive energy that you put out. And you're really freaking tired of that. With the Four of Swords in reverse, your soul's tired, you're burnt out from this. I mean, here you are, right? As the Queen of Pentacles. And you're at a crossroads here, because in your immediate future, the Six of Pentacles is flipped on its head. So you're at this crossroads to choosing situations that mirror kind of past situations that you've been in, or choosing differently this time. There's a big thing in this reading about choosing differently this time, because there is a new beginning available for you, and it's a really nice new beginning. But we are the only one who can break our cycles, right? I get a lot of people on my channel who will be like, oh, well, the universe brought me 4 emotionally unavailable narcissists in a row, or something like that. The same situation keeps showing up in my life over and over again. And my answer to that always is, there's a lesson there. If you are receiving the same relationship in different people, or even the same, stuck in the same relationship with like the same person, being stuck in the same cycle with the same person. If you're used to that, then it's gonna be harder to break that cycle than it will be to repeat it. Repeating the cycle is the easy part. And I just feel like what people don't see sometimes, and what's typically missed, is if there's something occurring in your life over and over again, The universe is, it's almost like a test. I don't like calling it a test because that indicates that you could pass or fail, but it's almost like the universe gives you opportunities to choose differently, to create differently. And it kind of feels like you're in one of those moments right now. And that's why you have trust your path. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? For instance, if this is a you know, a reading about going back to an ex that like didn't serve you versus walking away from that and embracing the opportunity that might be ahead of you, even though you're unsure if that will ever happen. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the fear that you'll never have what you deserve and therefore you need to settle, or will you choose the faith that things could actually work out for you? But you'd have to break a cycle, which is always difficult because it goes against everything that you're used to. I'm sorry, my dog is being so... August, come here. Come here. She's being very pacey, anxious. Come here. Come here. You're gonna come up here. Come. 1, 2, 3. You're flying. You're flying. Oh, okay. You're gonna just sit right here for a second, okay? Okay. Everyone, this is August. She's very nervous. All right. Current energy for Virgo. Yes, hi. I love you too. Current energy for Virgo, clarifying a win-win outcome is forecast with the Fool card. My boyfriend and I rescued, you probably heard me tell this story if you've been on my channel for the last couple weeks, but my boyfriend and I rescued her and her, who we think is her sister, off the side of the road, and they're just very nervous and all the time and very much need lots and lots of attention, huh? All right, you have the Ten of Cups and the Temperance. So you're frustrated because you haven't gotten the fulfillment that you ultimately desire, whether that's in your relationships or in your life in general. There's a lot of frustration around the fact that you haven't gotten what it is that you desire. Maybe you feel like the universe has brought you a lot of karmics or a lot of tests or a lot of the same situations over and over again that just lead you back to the place of feeling unhappy or feeling uncertain. And sometimes we don't realize, and it's hard to realize when we're going through it, but sometimes we don't realize how those situations that the universe provides us that don't end up working out are actually really big opportunities for us to learn what we need to so that things can work out. If you are not living the life that you desire, it is because a part of you doesn't believe it's possible. And if a part of you doesn't believe it's possible, you're not going to do what you need to do to get there. And so there's something here, and that's the resistance, right? Your resistance will keep you stuck in situations that don't serve you, and it'll make it hard if you don't, learn from your past and understand why your past had to happen the way it did. It'll make it really, really difficult to close out those cycles. I know, but you can't rub up against the microphone like that. Can you lay down? Can you lay down? I don't even think she knows what that means. Oh, you do. Good girl. All right, this is immediate future for Virgo. What's your sign, huh? Baby. Immediate future for Virgo, please. A new romantic cycle begins with the Six of Pentacles. Hi. Hi. A new romantic cycle begins with the Six of Pentacles, please. She also really doesn't like sitting on my lap and not being pet. It's probably her worst thing, or her least favorite thing. The Sun, the Devil in reverse. Ooh, this is a separate message. Okay. Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The biggest thing that is keeping you from what it is that you desire, the life that you desire, relationships that you desire, whatever the case is your attachment to certain outcomes that don't actually serve you. It's really important that we learn sometimes what we think that we want isn't actually what we desire. But we think it is because it's as good as we can see it getting, because it's as good as we've experienced or as good as we can picture it. But there's also usually something better that's available to us that the universe would love to bring to us with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which is something for you. But we don't prioritize it because we're attached to what we think we want because we think that that's as good as it's going to get. So the best way to create your fulfillment and to create what makes you happy and to bring you what it is that you desire is to learn to prioritize on a day-to-day basis what makes you feel good. If a situation makes you feel small or undeserving or unloved or not good enough or whatever the case is, that situation probably isn't aligning with the life that you desire. Now, sometimes we'll invest in those situations regardless of how they make us feel, out of the hopes that we can prove our worth and they make us feel better, or that eventually these situations will see our worth and will give us what it is that we do desire. And all that does is keep us stuck in karmic situations that have a lesson behind them. And so your immediate future is learning to prioritize you, Virgo, what makes you happy. You're supposed to be having fun here. Life is supposed to be enjoyable. You are driving me crazy. I know. I love you too. Life is supposed to be enjoyable, but sometimes we forget that and we think that it has to be a fight or a constant struggle or a constant battle, or it has to be, difficult every single step of the way. And sometimes we don't realize, and please take this with a grain of salt, that oftentimes we're the only person in our way. And I say that from a place of having been there, where I thought that the universe was just totally screwing me over and keeping, what it was that I desired from me for no reason, or bringing me all these karmic situations as a punishment. And I spent a lot of time being very angry at the universe until I started learning the reason why everything was happening the way it did. And then eventually things unfolded exactly like I wanted them to, but I didn't know I wanted them to unfold it that way because I didn't see the path. Can you lay down, please? Lay down. Here you go. So that's where, this whole reading is a lot about faith and trust and belief that, first and foremost, the life that you want is absolutely possible. It absolutely is. But sometimes we have to remember that we often choose what isn't as good as it can get for us because we think it's as good as it can get. And your happiness is on the other side of attaching to people and situations that don't align with your worth. There you go. Just relax. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Eight of Wands in reverse with the Hierophant. Things can't move towards you until a lesson is learned. That's what this is saying. Until a lesson is learned, things can't move towards you. So I want more on this. I want more on this Hierophant with the Eight of Wands in reverse. Things can't progress or move towards you, or you move towards them, until a lesson is learned. Essentially, until a cycle is closed is what I'm gathering, clarifying this. Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands in reverse, the Hangman in reverse. Okay, Virgo. This is a tough message, so bear with me. But you have a tendency to self-sabotage through your actions. Whether that's push away what is good for you or choose what isn't good for you, which kind of go hand in hand. Now, the reason that you do this is to maintain your control, to hang on to what it is that you can control, which is what I was talking about when I said that it's really hard to break cycles, because old cycles are very predictable, and that predictability keeps us in control. We know exactly how it's going to play out. We know what it's going to feel like. We know what that kind of disappointment and that pain looks like and feels like, that even though we don't enjoy it, we often subconsciously choose it because it's easier than breaking out of old habits. And so there's a lesson here about needing to learn, I mean, straight up, not to sabotage yourself by falling back into old habits or investing in people that don't serve you. And I know that's not a message a lot of people want to hear, right? Because it's really easy to blame it on everyone and everything else. And I get it, I've been there. But taking accountability for our life and taking control of what you can control, which is you, your response to reality, your actions, your beliefs, and the things that you can control. That is the only way that we break ourselves out of survival mode. Otherwise, you will stay stuck in the same situations with same or different people, experiencing the same levels of unhappiness, the same levels of not being fulfilled, over and over again. You can't control anyone or anything, but you can control yourself. And sometimes we try and don't even realize how we're sabotaging our own happiness because we don't think we even deserve to be happy or that it's even possible for us. But I feel like that's why you have trust your path. If you knew that it was impossible to fail, if you knew that you were supported, no matter what action you decided to take, what would you do? Because I doubt you'd settle. Immediate future for Virgo. But that takes a lot of patience and a lot of faith. And it's hard. I mean, if living the life of your dreams was easy, everyone would do it. Immediate future for Virgo. Immediate future for Virgo, please. I like this. This is things coming together in your circumstances. It's like things, the pieces falling into place. Yeah, but that's what I feel like. It carries more of a 3 of Pentacles energy. But I feel like I already pulled the 3 of Pentacles, which is why it's coming out in your immediate future as a 3 of Cups. It's like things in your circumstances, the pieces start to fall into place. But as long as all of this is taken into account, because nothing's guaranteed, right? There's so much out of our control. But we also have more power than we think we do by believing that everything is unfolding for us and not happening to us. And if we learn from our lessons, we'll close out those cycles. We won't have to repeat those painful situations, and we get to move forward and level up and experience new things. And such is life. So I feel like this is a pretty powerful reading for you, Virgo, to say, you know what it is that you desire is possible. You've got to take accountability for the way that you can make that happen, which is hard. It's hard to do, but it's also possible, and you are also more than capable. All right, Virgo, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I am going to, the extended will be more like, what do you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self and ultimately create the life that you desire? So I'm going to pull clarifying messages, jump into some advice, and then I have an advice card to pull for you at the end. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Virgo, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.